Well, oh, that's not where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be there. Wolf, hello, everyone. I forgot that it changed my screen when I did that. Welcome to Christmas in July, Part 2. Thanks so much for joining us here on our Tuesday Two Dogs Digs Hall Pass. As usual, I am partnered with... Oh, where did he go? There he is. The guy from downstairs. The boy
I'm extra saucy today, so
the boy with the toys. The grump with no lump. I don't know what. Yeah.
Excuse me.
The yin to my yang, whatever you want to call it. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us here. Today, we are here to talk more about Christmas in July. Why? Well, because last week, we didn't get through anything but Hallmark. So I thought, well, we got a lot more to chat about to get you guys ideas on things you should be looking out for while you're out there at garage sales, estate sales, bazaars, flea markets, thrift stores, you name it. Even some of the thrift stores I've started seeing in the past week a little more Christmas stuff, like a little tiny part of a shelf showing up, and that wasn't there like even 2 weeks ago. So
yeah, I think that they're running out of new inventory to put out. So
well, that could be part of it.
The Christmas stuff, let's get it out there.
Yes, and a couple of ours have that wacky air guy, like donate here in front of them. So maybe it is getting a little iffy. You never know. A big hello to everybody who's joining us here tonight. Thanks again to all of you who are members of the Kennel Club. It costs $3 a month to join the Kennel Club, and hopefully we provide you with way more than the $3 worth of incentives and fines and sales and all that sort of stuff. That's what we're here for. But thank you all who have joined us from the Kennel Club, as well to all of you who've joined us just on the other side. Hopefully you'll think about the Kennel Club someday soon. But a big hi to Janet and Lisa and Candace and Diana. Hey, Diana, you're back in the club. Heather, Joel, Greg, who's watching actually from the TV instead. Sherry
is watching.
Paul. You can see they all have a little thing beside their names. That's because they're members of the Kennel Club. Mr. Carl, who we'll see in a couple of weeks with What's Sold. And not to forget the rest of you. Hey, Michael, thanks for being here. And Kendra and Dawn. Hello to all of you as well. So, welcome. Yeah, again, today we're here to chat about things that are not Hallmark. But I got to start out with one thing, which is I went to Hallmark.
You did.
Here's my Hallmark bag. So
names were added to lists.
I actually had to get added to the list. So I'm just going to show you a couple of images that I took from the store as well. I think I've got a couple of images. Where is that? So this is what I focused on while I was looking this week, which was I went on Monday. I didn't go on Saturday because it was just crazy on Saturday. Hey, Kathy. Hello. So this is things that are in their, what they call their limited quantities and companions. So, for example, the two Santas, those are always out. There's a white and a black Santa, a Father Christmas, and they're 20th in the series. But every year, the reindeer is only available at the July launch. This is a companion, the mischievous kittens. There's another ornament in that, which is the 20th anniversary one. But this one is a little limited edition, this little white guy. There's the hideous Hermione at the Yule Ball. Then again, sort of there's Maleficent. There's a thing from Nostalgic Houses, which is one of the things that we're getting rid of because we have so many. Jafar. If you remember, I think we saw last week, we showed you the R2-D2 droid, the drink-serving droid. Well, I didn't even have to worry because you couldn't get it. It didn't arrive. In fact, in speaking with the store, actually over 30 of the ornaments planned from, I think, the 175 plus they were planned to launch didn't show up. And according to the Hallmark boards, they didn't show up anywhere either. So, and other ornaments, they got less than what they expected for. So some of the ornaments that I know were really popular and I looked at picking up. So I picked these up all to flip. This one is the Halloween Mysterious Jack-o'-lantern. Now, again, this is the one thing I forgot. This is a magic ornament, which means I have to buy a $20 cord to make this work. but this is damn cute. This is a light up Mickey Mouse ears. The other Halloween one I purchased was Winnie or Mary. So I had Winnie from before. I've had the Winnie for 2 years because it came out in 2020, but there were licensing challenges with it. But now they actually are missing Sarah Sanderson. Nobody got the Sarah Sanderson. So I picked up Mary just so that I will have all three when they actually do come out. So I mentioned some of the others that I was keen on getting. Well, here is my reindeer. And even though it was limited to one, I drove to 3 Hallmark stores. So I have 3 of these guys. This retails for $22. They're selling for about $45. So it's a $15, $20 flip. I'm going to flip them really fast too. This was one of the other ones that was going really fast in a lot of places. This is Jafar, and this is a limited edition as well. So this is only here for this one launch. As well, probably one of the cutest things I've seen in a long time, which is this. This is the Fisher-Price Airport, and there's a mini airplane. And the airplane sits on top of the airport. It's the same size as the airport. Oh my God, it's so cute. I made sure I picked these up in pairs. These retailed for $20 US or 26 Canadian and $10 US or 12 Canadian. So it was a $40 purchase. This I'm going to hold on to. I think this will be one of the things that, in fact, I couldn't find the airport in 2 of the stores, and the plane was only available in 1 of the stores. So I did manage to get myself 2 pairs of those. And then finally, I think there's one other one I picked up. No, that's all I got, because the rest of them were sold out. So much stuff sold out. So I thought I'd show you a couple of things that we did talk about last week as well, just in case you are thinking about this. One is I talked about red boxes. These are the things that are usually a lot cheaper. So these guys are available in a knockoff, a cheaper version of these. And you can see these, usually you can find these in Walmarts or CVS's in the States, but like there's the turkey head for friends, and then the coffee perk and the couch. Now, this is the 3rd year for the couch. Now, most of these run about $9 or less. So they're easy to find, cheap to find. You got to look for the ones or start looking on eBay and see red box to see what flips really well. So you may go on there. And for example, this Books and Wands, we picked up 4 of them because we thought they would flip, and they aren't. They're still coming out with them years later. They're not limited at all. Another thing you might want to think about is this, which is new in the past year or so. They brought out Hallmark Funko Pops. So not as if you needed more Funko Pops, but, and I call them Pop Funkos, but again, this is a whole series of these. So Mr. Monopoly, Optimus Prime, Deadpool. So this just happened to be, my Hallmark normally doesn't have any of these. And of the 3 Hallmarks that I went to, only 1 had all of these. The other 2 didn't carry anything along those lines at all. So again, it's one of those things that you want to think about. And if you do want to get onto the waiting list, I can tell you right now, some of the things that did not show up or are really going to be hard to find are the Haunted Mansion. A couple of them sold out of the Seance. And I had to get on the list for Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker from the Muppets. And the others that sold out so fast were the Disney Electrical Parade, which is a musical ornament with music, and the Han Solo. Could not get a Han Solo anywhere. And I know that that's a really tough one to find too. So those are a couple of things that you should keep your eyes open for. Maybe if you got a Hallmark near you, go and put your name on the list in case they haven't come in yet. As I expect and even put your name down for the drink serving droid, because that's going to be coming in a little later. You never know when, but you got 6 months to potentially buy and flip these. We did talk to you though about some of the other things that we do have. We showed you that box of the things that we had, which were this happened to be the one I have in a box, which are like nostalgic houses and just magic ornaments. Well, Rick did a kick-ass job, and he took that one box that, if you remember, we bought that was Hallmark magical ornaments. And I'm just going to do a little thing on here, Rick, while you...
They're all battery operated.
A little bit about them.
I don't know anything about them.
Chat about them so I can look up stuff.
I'm not prepared.
Chat.
No.
Chat.
No.
Talk about how much fun it was taking pictures. I don't
Actually,
know.
it was kind of interesting. I did them in sections. Craig drafted the first listing, so I had to use that as my template for all of the successive listings. I think there were 11 or 12 of them, and it took me the better part of an afternoon to take all of the pictures, put the batteries in, do the videos, upload the videos to eBay, figure out the pricing. Pricing was kind of interesting because a lot of the pricing that I put in, I was being slightly aggressive. I was pricing our loose ornaments pretty much the same price as the boxed ornaments, figuring I can always come down in price, but you can't go up in price that easily. Yeah, so I made sure everything worked. I took videos of everything, as I said, and I think we even listed them all. Did we not, Mr. Craig?
All except this one.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do
we
the
had
one
that was in the box. So everything else that we listed, though, was in the box. It was what we actually, like, we're all without boxes. And I'm just trying to see if I can find.
I can't remember what you paid for at the auction. It was like, was this the $84 one?
I think this is the $84 lot. Yeah. So I just to show you what we ended up doing with these, the $84 lot, we listed them, and depending upon what they are, again, so this is what's listed in there for the one, and Rick has got it in there with. I don't know if it'll play, if you'll hear it or not. You can tell us if you'll hear it. I don't know whether you will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know you can hear it. I don't know if they can hear it over there. But it's so cute. He did them all. Emily. Hey, Elisa. So we did them all, and we listed them all, and the total that we spent was about $85. And our total in listing these is, as you can see, if it goes back to where I want it to be. So we've got them, and 98, just those two, 38, 125. We've already had offers on that one for over 70. So all of these, the entire thing listed close to $900 US, and it was an $85 investment. And if we sell one of those, we will likely make all the money that we had to make on them initially. And I did find something else when I was looking at some cute stuff, and it actually is Hallmark, and it's going to lead into what we're talking about a bit next, which is you often find things that are interactive ornaments. So not part of our interactive challenge, even though Adrian is in the UK and he's not watching. He might watch later. But interactive Christmas is something that's really, really big. And this is this one little thing that we picked up, and it's this cute little thing. Now, this cost, this was 50 cents. And the really cute thing was it actually was 50 cents. And it has a little matching little girl beside it. And it doesn't only have a little matching little girl. It has another guy on a guitar and another guy. And look at this. These are linking together over 2 floors in our house.
Yeah, and they're very cute.
They're so cute. They cost, again, $2 for these. We put the battery in. They actually each play 2 songs a piece, and they link together no matter where they are. So it's really fun, but you could put them all over your house, and if someone pushes them on one. And the average price of them is selling for between $50 and $100 for the set of 4. But Rick actually found one on Etsy, just the one little Halo girl that someone had sold on Etsy for $55 just for the one thing. So you remember I talked about little happy tappers. This is the exact same thing. So this is that. Here's that little girl. That's a sold for $55, and they don't even have a video in. They're supposed to come with a remote, so you can do that anywhere. But
actually, no, these don't come with a remote. There's a different line that came with the remote. Okay. So they're the Hallmark Wireless Children's Angel Choir. And there are 4 of them in the series. They're from 2012.
Come play with us forever. And that's right.
Yes.
Red Rum. So yeah, just very cute. So look for those kind of things. And I bought those 4 at a garage sale for 50 cents a piece. I had no idea whether they would work or not. It was worth the 50 cents to be looking towards something like that. But what I'm leaning on when I talk about that interactive side of things is one of the other places that we're going to focus a little bit on for the first little while on that. And this is for us to look at things that are interactive kinds of ornaments. And here's the best way to think about interactive ornaments. The name Limax or Limax. Limax is something that we see constantly at estate sales. And even at a few garage sales too, but constantly at estate sales. And we actually find some of these donated to thrift stores. Those may not come out for another couple of months, so you get the bigger things. But the interesting thing about them is most of them have not a lot of motion to them, but they are well lit. And Limax has been doing this for years and years and years. And in fact, if you go on to eBay, look, you've got 44,000 listed right now on eBay. Now, it combines all of the things that they do, which is Christmas and Halloween, which is Spooky Town is the name of the Halloween series. But even if you go to solds, almost 10,000 solds. And these are, there you go. There's $6.49 for Dashing Through the Snow for the little piece that's in there. If we go to Christmas here, all occasions, if we just click off Christmas, half of them, 50% of them are Christmas. Now, we'll go here again and take a look at highest price just so you can get an idea. Take a look at some of these. The Boat Ride, $250. The World's Fair, $199. Now, you might think, well, wait a minute. That's really nice, but you're not going to find anything along the lines of those kind of things. Well, it's not just Limax that does that. Won't you take me to Spooky Town? Oh, and Diana bought a Limax Halloween at Michael's on Friday. Their Halloween is out around already. But if you're thinking about that, not only is there Limax, but there's another company called Trendmasters. And Trendmasters has these other types of things, which are the Christmas parades and things along those lines. And again, $150 plus.
You have to show your screen, honey.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. And in their solds, Trendmasters don't have as many, but take a look at some of the, if I go to highest priced, you'll see some of the things that they have, like this. You can see right on here. This is the Trendmasters 1998 Main Street Magic Christmas Magic Parade. And somebody in May got $299 for that. If I can show the original listing, or see original listing, $299. And there it is. So it's this lovely, fun little parade. Well, and then it goes around. You can click on that to see what it is. But what you'll also notice is that people sell the pieces separately. But what you might also notice is behind Rick right now, this is something we found. Here is the Main Street Electrical Parade. And it's brand new, like it's complete in the box. And take a look at that. We got that at an estate sale for $19. It was Mark 38. It was 50% off day. So we paid $19 for that. And if you think about that, that's the price that some people are selling just the little guy for. Just the little replacement guy. They're holding a little replacement guy. And that's one of the little things that goes.
We've actually had a couple of these in the past, and we did strip all of the floats.
Yeah.
And we sold them individually. Now that I've seen that one of these is $300 potentially, we're going to assemble this, take the video, and I think we're going to list it for $300 and see if we can sell it whole instead of piecing it out.
Yeah, 2 other people. Well, one person has it now for $220. Another person has it for $149.
Yeah.
So, there's.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Right. So the reason that and that's what I wanted to talk to you about on these kind of things is when you look at this type of stuff, you should take a look at the fact that you can actually break it all apart. And that's exactly what we end up doing when we picked up these before. We've taken them and taken every piece out. And in that one parade, there are probably like 40 to 50 pieces.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to go back to that picture again so I can show you that. Let me just go back to this. So when I show you this picture, every one of these things that's in here is something that you could sell on its own. We have sold the individual lights that you see there. Each light post, 1, 2, 3, 4 light posts, 1, 2, 3 things, 3 buildings, the parade pieces, all of the parade pieces, the crowd stand. We actually have a couple of these left, so I think we've got some trees
There's
left
some trees and a couple of running people.
and a couple of running people, but the parade pieces disappear from people all the time. So that's the thing to think about is when you're looking at something like that, and there's just a side version of what you see on it. But we've taken that, and if you have 25, 30 pieces that you can sell for $10 to $15, you actually can make more money and ship it a lot easier. And that's one of the reasons that we think about doing it is you take it and you take it apart and ship it. There's another one, Rick, I want them to see, which is also from Trendmasters. It's huge, but this is another one that we found. This is Christmas Magic Winter Wonderland.
Yes. It's awkward. And then there's the price. Can you see the price, Craigie?
Barely, but yeah, that was $15 at an antique mall.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to get rid of it.
But that person had tons and tons of stuff. And again, if we take a look at what we've got in there, $15 for that. But when you take a look at this, and that's gigantic, right? So
Yes.
Here is just the adapter cord, $20. Just the Ferris wheel, $30. So somebody's selling this entire thing for $135, but people are selling the Ferris wheel for $25. So again, one of the things to think about if you ever see something like this, look, somebody sold the entire thing for $30. Somebody sold the lights only for $14.95. And the replacement piece of something for $14.95. So that's the thing to think about if you find these kind of things is consider that you may actually get them and bust them all apart because it's so much easier for you to actually split them up. And again, if you have a $15 investment, we sell one thing and everything else inside there is free. The last 2 parades that we sold, we threw out because we didn't want to ship them. We threw out the bases that worked because they were 7.5 pounds. But you never know. We might try and sell the base this time because somebody's base may not be working. So if somebody's looking on eBay or Etsy or places like that, and they see things that are charging $200, $300 for their favorite Christmas ornament that they've had sitting up on their fireplace, whatever, every year, and now all of a sudden the dog ate the umbrella, the balloon boy, or the thing stopped turning. Well, if they can buy a piece,
dead.
If Santa died, they could buy a piece of it and replace it and fix it. So that's one thing I want you to think about. Yeah, that's the basic thing. When in doubt, part it out. If it's too big to ship, there. It's one of those things that just becomes, everything else turns into gravy at that point when you've got your money back from the single item. Now, I'm not sure. I think you have something else there that's another large one.
I do.
Now, this is from before you lift it up, Rick, I'm just going to go and show something else. So this is from another person that is out there, which is in the same interactive world. And this is Mr. Christmas. Now, Mr. Christmas is well known for all its Christmas kind of ornaments. That happens to be a Santa that drives around. But again, Mr. Christmas has been doing stuff for years and years and years. And if you go to the site for Mr. Christmas, you can actually see all the different kinds of animations that they've got, carousels. They've got all sorts of different things like that. So keep a lookout on that type of thing. But this particular thing, here's 1,600 sold Mr. Christmas items are sitting right now on eBay. And there's quite a few on Etsy as well, individual things. We have seen some of these go for really good money. And again, the adapters sell for good money in some of the cases. We've sold a Christmas tree for 100 and something, like the climbing Santa. And this is one that we find at least one every single year. We find a Christmas bells. I'll show you this. It's one of these different Christmas bells or bands. So a marching band of some kind. We find those, I think, every year, and we flip them and sell them every year.
Yeah, we had one that didn't even have the original box, and we were able to sell it.
Well, actually, Lisa, that's the interesting thing. Look at that. This one right here is a 1992. Of course, it's gone when I try and click on it. 1992, 1991 for those bands. So in 1991, I hate that clicking when you go to it and it's not there. But 1992, 1991. So yeah, they are old enough to sell on Etsy. And they've been around for a long, long time with Mr. Christmas. Now, here's something that Rick, and he made us pick this up. So he's the one who has to figure out how to sell this.
Yes, this is Mr. Christmas. And it is Santa's ski slope. We did get this at an estate sale on day 3. It was priced at $20. I think day 3 it was 75% off, so we paid like $5 for this. It is complete and it is working. It's huge.
Yeah, it is huge, and then we'll have to do a little bit more research on it. It's from 1992, so again, a possibility. We never really looked at Etsy for Christmas now, but in doing some of this investigation for the show, we are thinking about that. But take a look. Here's that right now, $128 for one of the Santas. There's the ski slope there for $70, tested and working. Here's somebody who there was one that actually had a Disney version of it. They're listed right now for $190. So again, I don't know whether we piece this one out. It may become one of those things we discuss more about, because it's like, well, what do we do with something like this? Because it's like, do we decide to just sell Santa, or is it worth the shipping? Do we try it on Etsy? And again, as you'll see, eBay is showing 90-day sales, right? So always remember, if you're looking up your solds on eBay, you're looking up 90-day sales.
Unless you go to the research tab.
Unless you open it up in the...
I'm talking all over you.
Yeah, you are. What else is new? Unless you open your browser and you can go to Terapeak, then you see 2 years worth of sales. Or unless you actually go to WorthPoint, if you have a subscription to WorthPoint, where you actually end up getting 10 plus years of sales. So the thing that I love about Terapeak, at least, and WorthPoint, those are the two key ones for researching, is that in those, you have the ability to look at what sells at Christmas. So this is going to be one of my top tips when you're selling Christmas ornaments and you're thinking about selling them on eBay or even on Etsy, is I want you to start learning about using Terapeak for dated sales. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So I'm going to go to the top here, and I'm going to just get this all ready. So I'm going to take you here, and we're going to go into just our eBay store, and you click into research, Terapeak research. So let's just take a look at this, and you'll see immediately it's bringing up potentially a 2-year, but you can customize this. So I can actually go in, and let's say I am looking up, what was that thing that you had, Rick? It was the ski slope, Mr. Christmas Santa ski slope, right? Yeah. So there we go. We've got it in there. So I got the name down. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to actually say what happens. Sorry, got to go to selling. Jump me out. Research Terapeak. I'm going to put that into my keywords here. And it's going to show me how this sells over the course of an entire 2-year period. So over the 2 years, we can see that 623 sellers. I also love this about Terapeak, have sold 1,126 of these items in whatever way they've done, from 99 cents up to $305. 21% are doing free shipping, which is also something great to see, because then you can go, wait a minute, I don't have to do free shipping. 80% of the people are charging shipping. And you can look at the prices. Now, here's one way to look at it, which takes us for the whole 2 years, up and down, up and down, up and down. You notice, like, there's not as many people buying stuff or as high a price as there is in February as there might be in September, October. But the nice thing is you can actually go into here and you can click on the dates that you want. So we're going to go back and we're going to say what happens between October 2021 and, let's go all the way back here and say December 31st, 2021. So I want to check out this 3-month period. And now I research that. That's my custom research. Now I'm able to see 429 sold in that 3-month period. So this can be a game changer when you're talking about Christmas stuff. Because again, what did we just see? If we go back one, so 423 of 1,126. So a huge amount sell at that Christmas period. So you don't have to feel bad if you're thinking, well, nothing's selling it's July, or it's fewer selling it's July. Well, I mean, so let me put in another one that just has a potential here. President's Edition Disney ornaments. And if I put that in, all categories of President's Edition Disney ornaments, we have sold, there are 2,300 have sold. I can tell you right over 2 years, right? July to July. Active, there are, how many active today? Doesn't tell me how many active. Doesn't tell me how many active there are, but sold, it shows me that there are 2,400 sold. But I want to know the pricing. And does the pricing change? We can see here. There we go, up and down, up and down, up and down. And if I take myself all the way through, there's the total sold and the trend line too. I forgot. Scroll across and take a look at this. Look at the sales. Sold 10, sold 7, sold 44. Sold 65, 78, 84. And boom, 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 boom. And sold 2 in that week. Sold 87. So again, that's another thing that you have the ability to take a look at is the total sold with trending. And you can see how the Christmas period sells at trending. So again, in here, we could put in if we wanted to, and we want to see, well, I'm going to sell my, even if you're thinking about listing your ornament, you go, well, I'm going to list my ornament and I'm not going to list it until September 30th. And I want to see what it does even till December 31st. You know what? I'm going to do that. And I'll see 4 months worth of sales. And I can see how things go up and down. And this happens to depend on the actual ornament, the value, because the values of some ornaments can be really big. And some people sell lots of things. Some people sell just a single ornament. So it's all over the board in terms of ornament. But again, the purpose is to show you that if you use Terapeak, you can find out seasonal stuff. And this doesn't just work for Christmas. This works for Halloween because Halloween sells before Halloween better than it does in February. This works for Easter in February and March before Easter. This works for Valentine's Day in January. This works for Mother's Day with a Mother's Day. So keep that in mind. Take a look at Terapeak and check and see from one date to one date what the difference is in prices, and take a look at the trending and see when the items all sell. So you may not feel as bad if you got something sitting up there for a little while in August when you see how many start selling as of September. So hopefully that hint's a great hint for those of you who are on there. Now, I don't know off the top of my head if Terapeak is available if you don't have an eBay store. Rick, do you know that?
It's available to everyone.
It is available to everyone.
You don't need to have a store to use Terapeak.
You don't even have to have a store to use Terapeak. I did not know that. So that's one of the things that can be really good as well. Now, Nellie says she's going tomorrow to check out Christmas in July at Goodwill. See, they're already thinking about that. And Emily didn't know about Terapeak. I'm glad that we gave you something that you can look at that you hadn't thought about before. But yes, as Rick says, it's nice to see that seasonal trends. Paul says he has some Disney Mr. Christmas items that should list. Yeah, well, Disney, again, it sells year round. So it's a big thing to potentially look at. So let me just see where we are in here. So we talked about that. We talked about Mr. Christmas. We talked about those interactive things. We talked about so again, look, Mr. Christmas, we talked about Limax as well. And now what I want to talk to you about a little bit more on is what we are looking at, which is other things that you might think about is the Christmas ornament area. And remember, I showed you our Hallmark things that we got. And this was like the other thing. Remember, I told you we bought this gigantic tub filled with ornaments. Oh my God. This is going to be the death of me. Why is it going to be the death of me? Trying to figure out what is in there is already, I mean, I know I'm going to Google image a lot of stuff, but some stuff I'm lucky enough to be able to take a look at. So this is an example of one of the things that's in there. And this is the glass ornament. And it's luckily for me, it has the Goebel name on it. Or Goebel? Goebel.
Goebel.
Gerbil names. It's gerbils.
It's not gerbil, it's Goebel.
It's not gerbil. So, but there's nothing on the cap and nothing anywhere else that tells you that this is a gerbil ornament. So if this was not there, I would not know that it is gerbil unless I actually did a picture of it and Google imaged it and managed to find out what it was. I have another one in here that also has a tag on it. And this is not the greatest tag in the world, but this is a tag that says Holiday House, Home for the Holidays. So Home for the Holidays makes cheaper versions of them. I mean, you can kind of look. Santa looks a little bit pissed in this one. Maybe he didn't get cookies. I don't know. It just has a little bit more, I guess, of a little bit of a cheaper sort of finish to it. So that's another one to look that I can look up and take a better look at. And then there is the other name that a lot more people seem to be familiar with, and that is Christopher Radko. So before I show you this, so Radko is a huge ornament company. This is their website at Christopher Radko. They've been doing European glass since 1985. They do all sorts of different ones. Not only is it just, are they doing Christmas things, but their ornaments and things like that move into a lot of different pop culture things, which they didn't do as much before. But if you take a look at this, like licensed collections, if you go in here, you can see their licensed collection. So this is Wonka's Golden Topper, $225, handmade in Europe. So if you find a topper, oh my goodness, you should grab a topper. That's if it's a Christopher Radko topper. I mean, take a look at these. And I'm not showing you, Rick might look up some of those when we're talking, but they've got the Beatles, the little glass ornaments. Even that is $76, brand new. So Christopher Radko ornaments. Yeah, I know. Well, that's the challenge, Kendra. Some of the Christopher Radko have a mark on them. And unfortunately, not all of them. And most of the ones that I have don't.
It gets further complicated because the little cap that they use.
Yeah, so more recently, you should be able to see a little CR underneath the bottom of the base. So, and that's from what my understanding, that's 2008 and forward. So older ornaments, though, don't have that. Now, what I also did was I was doing some research in the past week. I joined the Christopher Radko Facebook group. I was asking some questions about cappers to see if there's anything on there. And the fact of the matter is that even the cappers, they used to buy them from 6 to 8 different manufacturers. So there's nothing necessarily even about the cap itself that will make you go, oh, this is a Radko because it has a star thing on it, sort of thing. This one happens, again, I'm lucky. This happens to have its tag on it. It was, this was actually called Forever Together. And this is a double-sided Christopher Radko. So this is Santa on the one side and Mrs. Claus on the other. And in doing a quick research on this, I haven't found this exact ornament. There's no year, unfortunately, even on this. There's no year on its little thing. But the others that I found, and this has a couple of little scuffs to Mrs. Claus's head from probably being stored back and forth. This is a $40 to $60 ornament, and we paid $1 for this. So everything in that box that I was holding up, that I showed you, this entire box of glass is about $1 a thing. And that's why we picked this up, because for $1, I'm going to risk my money on trying to figure out what some of the things are. So again, I haven't looked closely.
Somebody has that ornament, Craigie, listed on Etsy for $75.80 Canadian.
Now go to Santa. Does Santa have the green package?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because all the ones I found could not find that.
And Mrs. Santa's holding a pie, I think.
Yep. Yeah, so that is this one. So $75. Low in stock, one left. Although I don't really know what that means.
Well, that's what happens when you're on Etsy.
So here's another one. And again, there's nothing on the bottom. The other thing that people have told me is when you're looking for the better made glass ornaments. So to try and keep in mind better done ornaments. So when you look at the bottom here, you see how that you can see the very clear lines from a mold, these straight lines here, the lines across here, all of these lines. That would say that generally this is a less expensive mold than the Radco, which again, almost it's smoothed out onto the bottom. So there's also a little bit of a weight difference. So as you look at them, this one weighs more than this one. Like they're almost the same size, but this has a little bit heftier weight to it. So some of the things that I'm going to have to do a lot of learning about, but mind you, when you've got an entire thing filled with these things that can, some cases can be really cute. Like this one's really light. So I'm guessing it's more of a knockoff. This one's a little heavier. And again, base on this one, smooth. You can see them, but it's smoothed out potentially versus some that have a little more lines on them. So this, again, this is something I'm learning lots about. I didn't know anything about it. I said to Rick, what do you want to do? And he said, well, at $1 each. I mean, some of them are just gorgeous anyway, right? So like this is really pretty. It's actually quite heavy, but it has a big made in China sticker on it. So, but it's actually a very nice, very pretty ornament. So again, it's going to be all about using Google Images to figure out where we go on things like that.
Yeah, there are a couple of comments.
Yep.
Sherry says Radco also does Christmas jewelry. So be aware of that.
I did not know they did jewelry.
And Lane wanted to know how ornaments are shipped. Other people have actually given away the key. Loosely wrap them in tissue and separate any of them from any others if you're doing multiples with loosely wrapped bubble wrap.
Is that, sorry, keep going, Rick, about the shipping.
Well, other people are saying that they use a bunch of tissue and bubble in a box and put that box in another box, depending on what it is and where it's heading. Yeah, we try to double box where we can if it's an expensive ornament. If it's not an expensive ornament, usually tissue, bubble wrap, and paper loosely packed around it. So there's no movement if you shake the box. Try to give about 1 inch to 2 inches around the ornament if you're shipping it on its own.
Sorry, that was a really key point, I think, the way you're doing, because that's how you also look at doing teacups.
Well, yeah, anything that's expensive, like china, teacups, cookie jars, they are double boxed, and there's 2 inches of packing around the inner box. So inside, I try to put paper over the ceramic piece, then bubble wrap, then in a box, support within that box, seal that box, and then put that in another box with at least 2 inches of clearance on all sides.
Speaking of which, also happens to involve in Christmas. Some of you may remember that we found these really funky drink glasses that were out. It was $12.99 for the set of 3. And this was Naughty or Nice. This was Rick's video that he did on it. And the model is like a paper matte. It's like a heavy plastic maquette that sits inside there. And it fits perfectly inside. Well, this is exactly, it's like we should have actually filmed you packing this, Rick, because how did you pack this? Explain just what you're saying. You took the roll out.
So I used 3 boxes. I have an 8x6x4 box that the young lady was able to tuck into. I wrapped her with wrapping paper, or the newspaper, Craig, what is it called?
Tissue paper.
No, it was the hard newsprint. It was the paper that they use at antique malls.
Yeah.
So I wrapped it snugly in that and then tucked it into the box, sealed that box. The glass was a little bit more of a challenge because we didn't have a box that could fit that exactly. So I had to scavenge a couple of boxes. It turns
Craft
out
paper.
craft paper. Yes, thanks, Lane. The glass itself is 8 inches tall, and the circumference of the top of the glass was 4.25 inches. So I couldn't fit it in any of our boxes. So I found a box that was 10 inches by 6 by 6.
So he did a little bit extra packing on something like this, but the reason he did the extra packing on something like this is because this girl sold for $79.99.
Yes.
So US. So this was a $4 Christmas thing that just sold last week for $79.99. So and $12.50 shipping. So we wanted to make sure that it was going to arrive in the best possible shape, because you don't want to. It's not that we'll lose money. I mean, if it broke, then yeah, we lose the $4 and the shipping. But we'd rather have them get it with the entire $80 and be happy about that sort of thing. So,
yep.
But yeah, so that is it. And Lane said, never double boxed anything and shipped over 1,100 fragile items. Maybe you're lucky, but nothing has broken. You're lucky, because we've we've had a few breaks. We've had coffee cup handles come off that have been sitting in a box, the original styrofoam box.
Yeah.
We had an Alice in Wonderland arrive, and the entire coffee mug's handle was broken off inside styrofoam. Our famous Minnesota Momiji store display, wrapped beyond belief, a head busted in. $700, and the head got busted in, thankfully.
One was sent insured, thankfully.
$500 worth of insurance on it.
And we got a positive feedback from the buyer.
Elisa just had a ceramic dip holder break. So yeah, it's like, you're lucky that you haven't had anything break, Lane, with that. And then I thought something else.
The biggest thing that causes breakage is movement inside the box. So before you actually put something or deposit something with the post office or your courier, shake the box. If you can feel any movement inside, open it up and repack it.
Shake your box. Ladies, shake your box.
Shake your box.
And if your box is large enough to float an ornament in, then just do what Sherry does.
Yeah, I use a lot of pool noodles as well. When I'm shipping plates, for example, we sell a lot of plates. I will put a circle of pool noodles around the edge of the plate after wrapping it in paper, and then wrap that in bubble wrap.
So again, to give you an idea on Radco ornaments on their own, right now, there are over 18,000 live listings for Radco ornaments. Lowest pricing at $1, things like that on these. But if we go over to solds, and again, that's got a little bit of available inventory. You can see the pricing on the available inventory, which I don't know if anybody actually looks at either. If you go to the solds, you've still got 3,300, which is a good amount of solds on these. This is for people who put stuff at 99 cents for auctions because they don't really know what they're doing, because you never do a 99-cent auction. But if we look at some of the higher priced items, you will see, if you never know. Look at this, a Radco Angela Lansbury Broadway Legends 2008 tree ornament, $1,500. A Carol Channing one, $1,150. I'm guessing those are probably much more New York-based ornaments. But even here, some other things. There's a that you can see. You probably look at this thing and go, "What an ugly set of things here." Like, take a look at this. I know that most people go, "Oh God, who cares? Yuck! What the hell is this? These are terrible."
Craig would never let me buy those at an estate sale.
$650. So again, keep your eyes open for Christopher Radco. And again, if you can find Radcos and things like that once Boxing Day rolls around, that's great, because you might have an ability to purchase some then. But this is mainly for the estate sales of the world, the garage sales. Maybe, like we did find some stuff at the antique mall, but it's more so flea markets, garage sales, estate sale kind of world, not and thrift world. One of the other things we found at that same thrift store, just so you can think about it, is another name, which is, again, high-end, and that is Waterford. Waterford, we actually got this set and I think a total of 9 other boxed Waterfords.
Estate sale.
This was at the same estate sale that we bought that big tub at.
They were throwing them at us, saying, take these, take these.
Yes, they were closing in 5 minutes, and these were originally all priced, I think, at $20 a piece. And we ended up getting them all. We had for about, I think it ended up working out to about $3 each. So it was like $50 for all of these Christmas ornaments we got. And these are boxed Waterford ornaments. This particular ornament sells easily. There's multiple solds for between $50 and $75. This one I actually had to go into Worth Point to even find, this mini Santa and Mrs. Claus. And this was surprising. It was only a $30 or $40 ornament, but it's the Waterford Crystal people, but they make these special heirloom holiday ornaments. So these happen to be called holiday heirlooms. And you might find Waterford. You can see there's always the tag on the top of it a lot of times, even in these. You'll find that red ribbon. And I find Waterford actually in thrift stores as well. That's something easily to be found, but a lot of people don't look for. So I want you to be looking for that kind of thing as well. So Waterford, Christopher Radko are 2 things to keep your eyes open for. But not only that, you've got to look for one of the other big names when you're looking for stuff, and that is to look for Disney ornaments. Disney ornaments are huge. Again, another big thing that people can find all over the place. It used to be a lot easier when there were Disney stores, but this is on Shop Disney right now. They sell for $25, $35 on average. The biggest section for these that people find out is, or that people look for, or you should look for, is what's called the Disney sketchbook ornaments. So sketchbook ornaments have not been out for a long time. These were available, and they're a sort of a more detailed looking ornament. I'm going to try and find this for you just to give you some ideas. So this is how they looked when they were in the stores. It would have been something like this. So you used to see these as the images inside the store unit. So come on over here. So these extra little, sort of extra heavy, they have glass on them. This happened to be for legacy ornaments that happen to be like 10-year ornament type things. I think this might be from 2018, I think. Maybe 2019 at the most, because that up ornament, I think, is from 2019. But the interesting thing about this is when you go into the Disney ornaments and you look up sketchbook ornaments, again, it's the sort of thing, pardon me, there are 1,200 solds, and some of the older sketchbook ornaments have big money behind them. Like, take a look at this. Sleeping Beauty, $299, $300. Figaro and Cleo, $250. Uncle Scrooge from 2016. So this is not even a 7-year-old ornament, $199. So keep an eye open for that. We actually have found, again, these in baggies at Christmas time. You also, if you're lucky, you can find them, but most of the people selling them sell them without any tags on them. You just have to look to see. And I wish there was an easy way to identify them, but here's an old hag, $124 for the old hag from 2018. So we actually tried to pick up a few of these. We actually have a poison apple, I think. We've got a Jessica Rabbit that's going to be going up for sale. This is $124. And so you can see that. So keep your eyes open. They don't show, of course, the bottom, do they? That's the sketchbook label that you can see on there. So keep your eyes open for Disney as a whole. Disney ornaments as a whole are gigantic. We've been selling them for probably at least 12 years now. We were lucky enough to find a lot at a warehouse that was doing closeouts, and we purchased about 3,000 Disney President's Edition ornaments. We're down to our last 60, I think, or so. So there's a lot. Elisa made a comment. I took note about which Hallmark ornaments were sold out Sunday afternoon from the store. Only Sarah Jessica Parker was sold out. The others were full. Actually, Sarah Jessica Parker, from what I understand, didn't get to anybody. They didn't get those. And yet, yeah, there are some that were there, and they may be closed now. I still have Disney Store withdrawal too. Oh, I still have Disney Store withdrawal. My wallet doesn't.
No,
but I have Disney Store withdrawal.
I think the pandemic killed the Disney Store in the mall by us.
Yeah, I think it pretty well did as well. So we're in our last 5 or 10 minutes, and I think that one other thing that we haven't really talked that much about, we sort of been leaning in and following along, is that it's time to think about what else. But where's my image? It's supposed to be up here.
I don't know.
I know my image is missing. I got to get my image back up. We're talking about open image in new tab. Here I was all prepared to go da-da, and then what happens? I just screw it all up.
Elisa says that the David from Schitt's Creek display was also full, so it didn't fly off the shelves.
Huh?
If the display was full, so they weren't sold out. Right.
In fact, there were some, but I went to one of the stores and they actually didn't even have the reindeer. Like they'd sold the reindeer out on top of that. Open link in new tab. Where is it? There. This is what I'm trying to get to. Okay. This is what I'm aiming for. Finally, it's not really where I wanted to be, but I'll show it to you anyway, because this is where it's time to talk vintage. And that is what a lot of people think about, which is Shiny Bright ornaments. This is a Shiny Brights is the big name in vintage. So I want you to think about looking up those vintage ornaments. A lot of times you will see them, and they are more. So these are not Shiny Brights. These happen to be in with some of our other ornaments. I'm just trying to take a look and see if I can grab one. There's a good one. So vintage ornaments have a tendency to have a really interesting look to them. You can see again with them. The types of they get damaged very easily, but they're also classic in terms of their sort of shapes. This is actually the type of thing. This is actually a vintage knockoff. And it's always about the tops on these, and you can see they're made in Poland, Czechoslovakia. Some of them say Shiny Bright on them. Some are made in USA. It's something that when we get closer to the fall, I'm going to do another thing that's closer to the fall that's talking much more about the vintage types. But when you're out there looking for vintage ornaments, the way for you to think about, if you can find them in boxes, that's great. But the way, yeah, Lane says she sold many Shiny Brights because she doesn't want to ship them. Well, I got to figure out how to ship those glass ones. But here's one of the things to think about when you're looking for ornaments. If you see an ornament that has these indents in it. See the indents here? These have a tendency to be
kids.
Huh?
We used to stick our fingers in them as kids and break them.
These are the ones that have a tendency to have a lot higher value. Things that have indent into the actual glass on the ornament. These two again are they're knockoffs of vintage, vintage replicas. And again, they have this little thing on them, and I have to figure out what this actually means, this little tag means, because I don't know what that tag means. But there are tons of people who buy Shiny Brights, and it's a huge thing for you to look for again at Christmas. So keep your eyes open for boxes that look like this, and you can easily go. There's actually Shiny Bright vintage ornament party favor boxes. So some of the boxes are quite boring. Some of the Shiny Brights are actually there. That's what I was looking for before. You can see in the case there, some of them are like oval, round. The more decor on them, the funkier they look. This is ribbed. This particular one. This one has much more of a textured pattern. This one is very plain. This one is like in the shape of plums or something like that. You actually will find them, and you can get good value on them, and some of them you can get really good money. And that actually happens to be this set was $136 for the box of 12 that's sitting on Etsy right now. But if you do look up shiny bright ornaments, you'll see all sorts of different kinds of things for you. There are a couple of things. If you go, I was going to say, that's the Christmas Facebook group. Yes, it's called Yes Virginia. It's Sherry's just saying Yes Virginia. It's run. Who runs it, Rick? I can't remember.
I can't remember her name.
But it's a great group for Christmas, for helping people identify what things are and things along those lines. Here's what I was talking about: more of the images of the indent kind that you see with all the the interiors dented in and dented out. So, Jenny, that's it. Thanks, Heather. So yeah, so vintage ornaments have so many different things that you can look at with them. Same with vintage trees, color wheels, all of that type of thing. We're going to do a little thing about them, but we've done enough about Christmas for now. We're going to do a little bit more about them when we come back.
One other thing that is dear and near to my heart.
We do?
Yes.
Oh.
We do. What can't I not buy?
Oh, God.
Nativity set. We were at a garage sale. And I looked down and I saw this.
$2.
$2. I think I got it for $1. And I think it's
you cheap
Italian.
bastard.
I think it's Italian, and I think it might be Fontanini. If it is Italian and Fontanini, it could be 150, $200. So I will definitely be opening that up and doing a bit more research on it.
What's interesting, as you said, it's when I go in to Google or into eBay and I start typing and I get to it goes right to Fontanini Nativity. It completes it. And there's 3,000 nativity sets in here. And if we go and look up some highest price, just for the heck of it.
Giggles.
Well, let's look at sold. Here we go. Okay, if we have a 27-inch Mary statue, that's worth $1,000.
No, we don't have a 27-inch statue.
But even there, 12-inch tall, 50-year-old, 18-inch, like, you're talking about $350, 20-piece, $250. And the one thing, there, Baby Jesus, $250. No, not a 27-inch. We don't have a 27-inch Baby Jesus. But again, number one, with the nativity sets, you don't have to have the creche, the manger. Don't worry about it. It's too big to ship. Don't bother with it. Number two, part it out. We've done that with our ceramic nativity pieces because we actually find that people break a Jesus, break a camel, you name it, they'll break, and they want one thing because otherwise they'd have to buy an entire nativity set again. So the Kirkland set actually we have had, actually sold really well, and that was from a Value Village thrift store. So, Elisa sells Holiday Time from Walmart. So, no, I don't trust I sort of trust his eye. Well, no, but if it's $2 at a garage sale, and he goes, well, you take $1. That's just a cheap bastard.
I was walking away, and I think the lady said, take it for $1. I didn't offer that.
Camels and Baby Jesus are always popular. Yes, not as popular as the Creepy Choir Boys. So, speaking of Creepy Choir Boys, tomorrow night on Whatnot, we're going to be doing our weird Bark After Dark Whatnot show. We're going to be on 11 o'clock on Whatnot on Wednesday night. So if you want to join us on our Whatnot channel, that would be great. Just to have people say hello. We've got 4 shows coming up this week. This is a huge week for us. We haven't been on for a while, but this week alone, we are going to be on Whatnot with our Let's Get Weird Bark After Dark tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. Saturday at 4:30, it's our Christmas in July. We're part of a train of Christmas sellers, all doing an hour and a half on Christmas stuff. Sunday at 7, we're part of Whatnot's Barbie Bonanza to celebrate the Barbie movie. And then Monday night, we got a whole bunch of Monster High accessories we're trying to get rid of because I don't know enough about them, so I'm just going to put them out there for people to bid on. So it takes a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of time on Whatnot, and we usually get a good amount of money from our Barbie and Buster High show. So 4 shows in 1 week, all coming up on Whatnot. So hopefully you can join us there. Thank you again for joining us here on our Two Dogs Digs Hall Pass for Tuesday for part 2 of Christmas is Everything and Everything But Hallmark.
Hey, I stayed awake the entire show.
What?
That's a record.
What?
I stayed awake the entire show.
Holiday time palm trees sell well too. Oh, okay. I didn't know about that. So we'll have to look for palm trees. Now he's going to buy palm trees. Thanks, yes, Elisa. Thumbs up would be great. Thanks to everybody here who is a supporter of us in the Kennel Club. It's really easy. Just go to the YouTube channel, click on join, and for $3, we hope we told you a few things today you hadn't thought about, didn't know about, or could improve your time as a reseller. So maybe learning about Terapeak is the kind of thing that may go, you know what? Those guys should get $3 for just teaching me about how Terapeak does things by date. And that's what we're here for. Also, we'll see you over in our craft group where we do have challenges going on for Christmas in July. I got another challenge coming up in the next day or two. Thanks so much to everybody. Hey, Joel, thanks so much for everybody joining here. Hey, Kendra, Lane, thanks for popping in as well. Michael. Oh, no. He started them all again. And happy ever. Oh, jeez. Trying to hide underneath them and make people think that it sounded really badly. But no, that was just me. Wolf, Bad Dog, I'm out of here.
Good dog.
He's falling asleep.
Out.
Take care, everyone. We'll see you next week for Thrift It or Throw It. What would you do?
Bye.